Hey, what's up, everyone? This is me, Dre. I want to talk about this story from back in September of this year, September 10th. There's the Youth Football League in Beaumont, Texas. Now, I am a Texas resident. I live in the Rio Grande Valley. And this story came out shortly after about a day before the new football season started. And this youth football team only black kids. It's not just black kids in the league, just on this particular team. So with Colin Kaepernick having taken a stance against police brutality and racial injustice in this country, it has inspired a lot of professional athletes as well as amateur athletes such as this team to take a stance against those same injustices around the country. Now, we're talking about kids 11, 12 years old taking a knee for what they stand for. It's something that's very important to them, and we all know that when black people decide to speak out against police brutality, all of a sudden we come under attack. First, when it comes to police brutality, if we protest by showing our outward anger, things tip, and all of a sudden you have destruction. I don't necessarily condone that, because in a lot of cases, when there's a protest and there's a lot of anger, black people in a lot of cases have destroyed their own communities. So that's counterproductive to saying, hey, I don't like that this guy was shot and killed, but let me go ahead and fuck up my neighbor or fuck up my own home. So you have a segment of America, a lot of whites and non-blacks, that says, no, that's not how you're supposed to protest. So then Colin Kaepernick comes out, and he was basically filmed taking a knee. Didn't draw attention to himself, didn't wave to the camera and says, focus on me. A cameraman just caught it, and they decided to ask him about it, and he was very open and honest about why he didn't stand for the pledge. And since then, every time the preseason game was over, and now with the regular season in effect, people are coming to Kaepernick and saying, do you still stand for this? Why are you doing this? And now you have that same segment of whites and non-blacks saying, this is not how you protest. Find another way to protest. First, you don't want black people to protest by showing the anger and destroying shit. And again, I don't condone that. But why would someone think that it's appropriate to tell blacks how to protest when they're not happy about a certain situation? Now you have this youth football team that decided to take a stance by kneeling during the National Anthem. And what did they get out of it? They got racial slurs hurled at them. They got death threats online as well as offline. Now you're talking about young black kids, once again, 11, 12 years old. The contradiction and the double standard in this country, because you have the same white people that talk about how in the black community there's fatherless households and these kids just run out in the streets and get in all kinds of trouble and will amount to nothing when they get older. Then you have these young kids who have found mentorship with their coaches, are staying off the streets, staying out of trouble, playing something that they love, which is the sport of football, and trying to make something of themselves. And their stance for racial injustice and police brutality by kneeling and not taking a stand and putting a hand on the heart with the national anthem, all of a sudden you have people saying, well, this is not how you do it. Fuck you niggers, this and that. So it's never good enough for anyone as far as what black people do. But now what's happened is their head coach was dismissed. Another coach has resigned. And instead of the Football Association bringing in new coaches or reinstating the coaches, they've decided to end the fucking season for these players, thus breaking their heart, because this was a team that was getting some momentum, winning games, trying to do something positive for themselves. And because of this, the backlash, their season has ended simply because they decided to express their freedom of choice, which is a right for all citizens to express themselves the way they want to, as long as it's done peacefully. And that's what they were doing. They weren't throwing bottles into the stands. They weren't flipping people off. They simply took a knee on the field during the national anthem. And because of that, they were called niggers, baboons, porch monkeys, told to go back to Africa, death threats made against young kids. So this is the thing that's fucked up about America. Yet Donald Trump and his supporters think that this country is great. But these are people that are speaking from a place of privilege. Young black kids being threatened by older white people simply because they took a knee during the national anthem. There's nothing great about that. This is one of the reasons why America cannot be great until people come together on all accords to understand that American citizens have the rights, regardless of ethnicity. Black people can take a knee if they don't want to. The national anthem, there's that third verse from the national anthem that people don't want to talk about. But it talks about killing blacks who decided to side with the English during the Revolutionary War. But all of a sudden, black people, when they protest peacefully, they're told that they're doing it the wrong way. So no matter what we do, it's never good enough for anyone, which is why I say fuck the national anthem. I'm not saying fuck the American flag, but it really holds no symbolism towards me. I am an American citizen. But how can I be proud of my country when our country doesn't stand up behind black people who express their freedom of choice? Anyway, if you like this video, hope that you like, subscribe, and share. Don't forget to check me out on Facebook. Peace.